Thank you so much for tuning in to Awakening with Katina Love. We are a spiritual enlightenment channel where we help you raise your consciousness and become your best version. Today we have a very special guest, Lute Byron Smith. Lute is a self empowerment music artist, a life coach, inspirational speaker, and podcast host from Lima, Ohio. He currently resides in California. He has evolved and matured along his journey and became inspired to create music that is more positive, empowering, and liberating. Thank you so much, Luke, for being a guest today. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm thankful. Thank you for inviting me on here today, Katina, and I appreciate it very much. And just happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that you're here as well to share your journey, your enlightenment journey, your awakening, your spiritual awakening journey, and how you became a music artist. So, what is
Absolutely.
so what inspired you to become a self-empowerment music artist?
Well, I mean, I can touch into that a bit. Well, early on, well, I'm an artist, and I've always considered myself that. I've always liked creating,
Mm-hmm.
drawing, and creating music and things like that. Even ever since I was a young boy. You know, and as I've gotten older, I started to create a more mainstream, from the people that I was around, and just
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I'm listening to on the radio. I started to want to mimic, a lot of that what I heard, and you know, I was creating that type of music, more of a mainstream music, and it was to be exact, a gangster rap style music. So it was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of violence, and glorifying violence, and womanizing, and
Mm-hmm.
substance abuse and drinking like that. But as I started to listen to my voice, just something inside of me, we all have that. We all have that,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it. Your spirit, Holy Spirit, inner
Mm-hmm.
voice, higher
Mm.
self. It's
Yes.
just whether we choose to listen to it or not.
Right.
So, for a while I was listening to it, but then I wasn't listening to it. But something was unsettling within inside of me,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you know the circumstances as well. Now I'm really, and I'll jump a little bit forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very avid believer firsthand on words that we speak,
Yes.
being, you know, uh, uh, dictate and control, unfold your experience. So I was watching that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Different things like that. As I was speaking these type of lyrics of violence, I was watching this stuff unfold around me, and I could just say that I was blessed that the universe was able to still keep me, you know, out of the direct line of fire. But I was watching
Right.
things like that go around me. I knew I had um, a a higher purpose, in which
Right.
I was able to see these things without it really touching me
Yeah.
firsthand. But I was watching people around me, go to prison, jail, get shot, killed, just losing this, losing that, and that being a part of their mindset. So they didn't
Mm-hmm.
look at it as anything bad. They just looked at it as just part of the routine, just part of the flow of their flow. But
Mm-hmm.
it became very uncomfortable for me,
I
to continue
understand.
to just witness, not only witness things like that, but just feel and put out things like that. So as I started to listen to my higher self, and evolved
Mm-hmm.
and matured, I wanted to create something and be more responsible, for the lyrics that I put out there, and just
Right.
what I put out there that represents and reflects how I feel and what I want to manifest into my life. I
Absolutely.
started to see that. I started to even before I really knew, and really did the research on it. I started I would watch other artists too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to name really any names, but just
Right.
other famous artists out there that, rap artists, in particular that would had certain lyrical content, and then I would watch certain things unfold in their lives, and then even they started to realize it. Some of them, of the lucky few that were able to realize it and change their tune before it was too late, that
Right.
hey, this stuff that I was speaking was actually man happening in my life.
Right.
I'll even say a
Words
name.
have power, right?
I even heard Snoop Dogg say that once. He said
Hmm.
he curved a lot of, I mean, I think he still talks some along similar lines of what he used to, but he did have a wake up call. So whether he
Yes.
chooses to change or whatever from here on out or wherever he's doing now, but he did have a wake up call. And it was a song that he had created called Murder Was the Case. And next thing you
Oh,
know,
long time ago. I remember
yep.
that.
Next thing you know, he said before that even happened, then he had a case, a murder case on him. And
Isn't that
and
something?
yeah, and it's like you gotta understand, and I know you understand, but
Hmm.
people have to understand is that you singing these lyrics and he's putting all his feelings into it. Snoop was
Right. The
time,
energy.
and yeah, it's affirmations, and
Right. Every
he was
word we
telling the
speak.
universe, yeah, he was telling the universe, this is what I want.
Right.
This is, and
Unconsciously.
yeah, and as I started to realize that, I was like, wait a minute, I'm talking this stuff that I'm talking about. I'm saying that this is what I want to happen in my life. I want death in my life. I want violence. I want gunfire. I want, you
But
know, the killing of my own people. And
but you
I
don't.
don't want, that's not what I want.
Right.
But here, this is what I'm talking about because it's supposed to sound cool and it's what sells and what can potentially bring me quick fame and money. And I'm getting patted on the back because of these things. And I had to
Isn't that amazing?
stand outside myself, yeah, and say, wait a minute, these people are patting me on my back and congratulating me on saying things that are destructive to myself and other people.
It's
This is not
amazing.
right. This is not right. And I'm not putting down anybody else for whatever
Yeah, you're talking
um
about your journey. This is
yeah,
your
my
journey.
journey, whatever they feel like they need to put out there, because everybody's responsible for, their own what they manifest or whatever. But and I also believe that there's a point in time where there could be a story to tell,
Hmm.
that people may not relate to. But I
Right.
believe if you stay in that,
Hmm.
you asking for something. If you go
Exactly.
out there and put up story out there, this is where I come from, this is my beginnings. But I firmly believe my perspective is if you continue to affirm those
Right.
same things over and over, you're just
Create
asking to
them.
keep yourself in that same place and to create those similar circumstances
Right.
to reoccur in your life again and around you. So
Right.
that's why I'm very particular now as to the type of content that I create now as far as music
Yes.
and
Yeah.
what I listen to too. I catch myself
Oh yeah.
oftentimes because music is very alluring and they can make it sound so
They can.
beautiful. And before you know it,
Especially the beat.
yeah, the beats sound good. I mean, people are just so talented out there. They just
Right.
there's
They
a
make
lot
it
of
sound so
talented people out
beautiful.
there. Yeah, they can make it sound so beautiful. Then you listen to the lyrics and then you like, wait a minute, I'm repeating. What did I just say?
Right.
And you got to watch what you say. You got to catch yourself.
Totally.
Yep.
I catch
Yep.
myself because I like to jam in the car and I'm like, I'll turn on the radio for a minute, see what's on because club station up here,
Yeah.
and I turn on the club station and I'm like, oh, this sounds so good. But as soon as I hear something off, I'm like, gotta go. I don't
Yeah.
care
You
how
got to
good
you
how
you
good it
have to
make you
control it.
feel.
Yeah, you have to, and it's very tempting. Believe it
It
or not,
is.
it is,
It
especially
is.
if that's what like you said, you use the word programmed early on. We already been programmed to listen to the top, music stations and things like that. So we already have this type of thing that we're already used to listening to, type of songs. There's good songs out there too, but at the
Right.
same time, you have to be aware, and
Absolutely.
really take responsibility, because if you don't control what you allow to come
Into
into
your
your mind and your
yeah,
subconscious mind, somebody else is going to control it.
exactly. And
And then that means they're controlling what is happening in your life as well.
right. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So what drew me to you is your music, your affirmation music. I think it's your older music on YouTube.
Okay.
I love your music. I love your music. And um I don't know if I discovered you on Facebook first or if I discovered your music first. I'm not sure which one was first.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not sure how that happened, but we just ended up. I just know we ended up being friends on
yep,
Facebook, and then kind of,
yep.
you know,
And I
touching bases every now and then.
Yeah, and I know that we're in some of the same like conscious groups and law of attraction groups, consciousness
Yes,
creators, maybe a couple
yes.
more. Maybe I saw you post maybe one of your videos. But anyway, I know I've been listening to your music for like a year or more now.
Oh,
And
okay. Thank you.
it's very inspiring, very uplifting. And honestly, I don't know any other positive rap music like yours. And
Yes.
I'm just blessed. I mean, seriously, I'm blessed with the lyrics that you speak on your music. Like again, YouTube, your channel is Byron Smith, right?
Luke
Loot.
Bryan, Bryon. Yeah, Bryan
Yep, yep.
Smith. Yeah.
Loot Byron
No,
Smith. If you
Bryon.
Okay,
You switched the Y to
Bryon.
R. That's hard. A lot of people make
They
that
do.
mistake. Oh, I get it all the time.
Look
I
him
get it.
up on YouTube. Loot Byron Smith if you want to hear positive, uplifting lyrics, music that'll uplift your soul and help you lift your vibration. So, I again, I am very grateful for those lyrics, those songs that you put out, Loot.
Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah, I just wanted to and also when I started to create this type of music, I looked into other music that was that I would say that was similar. Like I would look up conscious music, but a lot of the other music, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I wanted to have something that was more universal
Yeah.
versus just talking about a
Yes.
certain color.
Right.
And a lot of the
Absolutely.
conscious music that I saw amongst rappers were really far to the left or right. So they're either talking about, just really, really pro black. And there's, like I said, there's
Right.
nothing wrong with
Right.
that. But I wanted something more universal as far as
Yes. I'm talking.
everybody from whatever
Yes.
country could identify and be uplifted from listening to, you know, um, what I'm creating. Not saying that everybody can't listen to theirs and be uplifted, but I think it actually isolates a certain group,
Right. I
in
agree with
their
that.
music, and that's what they're meant to do, and that's okay. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I knew that that wasn't my passion.
Right. It wasn't your journey.
My journey was to put something out there that was that could just uplift whatever listener, whatever religion, whatever color,
Right.
whatever background, economic, social, wherever, whatever,
Yes.
and just listen to it and just say, you know what, no matter what this is, it's making me feel good, and that's it.
Absolutely, and that's what it's about. And
And that's it.
I was listening to one of your songs, and I realized that we have similar backgrounds so far as our spiritual teachers. Like you mentioned Louise Hay, you mentioned Paul Santisi, you mentioned Wayne Dyer, you mentioned
Right.
did I say
Napoleon
Louise Hay?
Hill.
Abraham Hicks.
Higgs. Yes.
I'm like, oh, these are all my teachers.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And I just like, wow, I'm totally resonating, right? And it's just like so cool.
And that's
It,
why it's no coincidence that you and I are connected.
absolutely, absolutely. It's all vibration. It's all vibration.
Right.
So the song with Paul Santisi, how did you guys connect?
Well, with Paul Santisi, I had been listening prior to that. I had been listening to him, on YouTube, listening to some of his meditations. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just reached out to him one day and told him, hey, look, you inspire me.
Yes,
And why don't you, if you get a chance, check out some of my music. And he ended up contacting me and said, I really like what you're doing, man.
that's awesome.
And, we ended up he ended up being sort of like a mentor to me, and we had several really deep phone calls in which he
Beautiful.
poured out some of his you know knowledge that he felt he wanted to share with me to help me in my journey. So
That's awesome. That
we
is
ended up
awesome.
collaborating and making a song together.
That's great. That's awesome. So You want to share more about your spiritual awakening, like how that unfolded for you?
I can say this. Okay. Now I grew up in a really uh religious family of different religions.
Mhm.
Actually, a lot of
Mhm.
Christian, Baptist, Catholic,
Mhm.
Muslim, just different religions. And what I learned, without getting too deep into it, is that everybody's adamant about what they believe and what they
Right,
follow,
right.
but there was always something within me, not that really opposed anything, in regards to religions, but something that I needed to look deeper into, to give me more of a universal understanding as far as who I am,
Mhm.
in regards to who I am, and how I'm connected with source, with God and whatnot, other than what these each of these religions that are based on actual people, coming up with these, their concepts and what you should think and how you should do it, and in the rituals, and some about that, just over the years, it just start rubbing me the wrong way. and
I
and
understand.
yeah, so like I said, I'm not putting down anybody's religion,
Right.
because I believe that whatever you feel like that your journey is, and whatever makes you, that better person or your higher self, so be it, follow it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, for me, something just didn't set right, when I would be sitting in churches and things like that, and feel like, okay, well, I feel like I'm actually praying to this man here, and
Right.
I have to go through this man here to get. It's like something's not right about that.
Right, exactly.
It's like we all
Something
have access to, you know,
direct
and there's no
access.
there's no chosen man that is
Right.
just because he studied this particular uh, literature or whatever, that makes him more um, worthy than you. You know, so
Exactly.
so that's how I started to really just look into, you know, what I like to call just spiritual, and just who I am, and you know the universe, versus putting labels on you know what it is. A lot of people throughout my journey even still ask me. They always,
Mhm.
what religion do you belong to? And when I tell them
Right.
none,
Right.
then a lot of them have a really shocked um, reaction. Like,
Mhm.
you have to belong to something. It's like,
They want to
says
put you in
who?
a category.
Says who? Says who?
Exactly.
And if I'm not, then I'm not, you know, going where they think I should go. And I'm like, says who? And who's telling you all this? And I
Exactly.
tell people to always
They don't
just
question.
yeah, question and research for yourself, and
Exactly.
and not, and just follow also the we all have this inquisitive nature, and it's put there for a reason. The universe
Absolutely.
has put it there. And it's
Yeah.
like, don't allow things to block that,
Right.
because of we've been programmed to not, and I still have family that, that have been close to me, and that we may not be as close anymore because of things like this,
Right.
because of, they want, they think it's anything that they don't understand. They
Right.
want to demonize it because they don't understand it. They don't want to
Right.
get a chance to, and vilify it. So I'm like, okay, so I don't understand it. And you know what,
Mhm.
Katina, I used to even ask my mother back in the days, and I never got a straight answer. And this is no discredit to my own mom, or even just
Right.
elder family members. I used to say,
Mhm.
so these people over here follow this book and believe this,
Right.
and you believe this. I said, and then I would tell my mom, I said, so the book you follow and what you do is right and they're wrong.
Right.
And I could just remember, a lot of times it would be, more not an understanding, but more frustration than anything that was delivered to me. Like,
Mhm.
I'm asking the wrong question. I'm like,
Right.
why? So I'm
Right.
like, so these people over here in this country are fighting these people because they don't think like them. And which one is right?
Right.
these over here, well, all I know, and then I would get this, all I know about is this book here. And I'm like, okay, so, and then I would even take it further back. I would say, so when you go back to our ancestors
Right.
that were living in the land and they didn't have access to this book here, so
Right. Right.
what's going on with them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say,
That was a
oh,
different time, and
yeah, yeah. So I'd say,
that's what my
okay,
people say. Oh, that was a different time, and
yeah,
this is a new day, and Jesus
okay,
came,
okay.
and
So
blah
I'd
blah
say,
blah.
so everybody that lived for millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of years in tribes and things like that that did not have access to these writings, these,
Right.
they're all lost. I mean, what's going on there?
Right.
And so
And like you're
I knew
saying,
when I started asking questions like that there was something special, you know, about that, because a lot of people don't get to that point. They just know what they've read, don't question, don't
right,
ask, follow. And that didn't ever sit right with me.
blindly follow.
Yeah. So that didn't ever,
Just
yeah,
take their
blindly
word
follow.
for it. Take
And just things like, you know, uh, even in regards to wealth, to shy away from it and embrace poverty and being broke and all that, and you'll get yours on the next life. Just stuff like that didn't
right. Like, why
sit
are we
right with
even
me.
here then? If I
Yeah,
can't
it's like,
enjoy it now, why are we even
yeah,
here?
stuff didn't like that just never sat right
It
with
never
me.
sat right with me either.
And I used to say, okay, well, if we have to sit here and embrace this poverty, then why do I see my pastor driving around in Mercedes and
Exactly. And
having
Rolls
nice suits and
Royces
things
and
like that, but we're supposed to sit here and I
right,
go, something is off here.
right,
But then I was always advised to, I'm talking too much. You know, what you're doing is evil or whatever. And I'm like, okay, because I'm questioning and I want to learn and I want to grow.
right.
That's evil.
I want to keep
So,
people in ignorance. That's
okay.
all.
So that's where my spiritual journey just really started to open up, when I just started looking at things myself. Now I know at the same time, wherever I research, it's always going to come from someone else, but still, you know whether something resonates with you or not, or
Exactly.
whether you just decide to just go with something out of fear because it's comfortable for you to continue to think like this. But you also know whether something is really working for you or not. And when I say working for you, and I mean that's really um, uh, close to your inner peace, and it's just in the way that you're living. And I mean,
Absolutely.
it should not be any, constant frustration and struggle,
Right.
and and thought of someone punishing you, and the thoughts of being helpless and things like that. And that's what a lot that I still do see in regards to, following certain things.
Right.
People are blaming and victims and thinking that this person in control is mad at them, and I'm just like, no, that's not the way I want to live. That's
Right.
not the way I want to think.
And we all have a choice, don't we? And it's for me, it took
Yeah.
having an open mind is when God, Spirit, Universe started opening things up to me and leading me to different teachings and um,
Right.
different things to learn and to try and do. And like you're saying, it's all about resonance. What resonates with us
Yeah.
is
Eh,
what the path we're supposed to be on.
yeah, and also just really leading me into, no matter what, uh being responsible for my own
Hmm.
life.
Absolutely.
And
For everything.
now see, my purpose in life is to reach more towards my higher self, so I can be more in line and in tune what I should be in tune with, you know.
Hmm.
So that's where the work in lies, is in the undo all this other stuff that's been embedded in my brain, in
Right.
my and that's my a daily job to do that. So other than that, there's no blame that, oh, God is punishing me because this. No, 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 no. i
And
can
God doesn't even
i
do
can
that anyway.
I
He
can
doesn't
honestly
punish.
trace back everything pretty much
Hmm.
that unfolds in my life and where it had its beginning at with me, in
That's
some way,
beautiful.
in some way. And the more that I'm able to do that, the more I'm able to take, conscious, control of, like I said, over my own life, and know that I was created to be a creator and to create my own life, and just, And then there's just universal laws and everything that's put in place for everybody, and there's nothing that's more favorable for this person or that person. It's nothing.
Right. We're all the same. We're all equal.
Right. So
Nobody's better than anybody else.
it's just that some people have either unconsciously or consciously tapped into, certain things, and that has caused certain things to happen with them that you might feel like that is a benefit that you want to happen to you, and some haven't figured that out yet, and
Right. Well, I know
so
your story, Lute, is very inspiring to a lot of people because there are a lot of
right,
people who are at that crossroads right now of,
right,
what do I believe? Should I
yes,
follow this religion or that religion? Or, my parents followed this one and my friends are doing this. And they're looking at, in the pandemic, that what's going on in the news, which is, to me, is just fear-based stuff, not really helping
yeah.
anybody to evolve spiritually. um, but what advice would you give to someone, and you've already given a lot of things that people can do, but is there anything else you want to add to a person who is at that crossroads right now with their spiritual path, and maybe even their purpose, because there's a lot of people that don't know what their purpose is. Why are they here
Yes.
anyway? You know what I mean? So what advice would you give to someone?
Basically, I mean, I know it sounds easier. It, like there's a saying, easier said than done.
Hmm.
But you got to get to a point where you get out of your own way,
Right,
and
that's so true.
you basically get out. And that's what I had to do. I had to get out
Hmm.
of my own way, stop all these dialogues that have been fed to me from other people, and really just start to gravitate towards what is connected, what feels good to my inner peace, really feels good to my inner peace. Does it
Yes.
really feel good to my inner peace to feel like that I'm being punished every move that I make? Or does it feel better to know that there's a balance in play, laws
Hmm.
in play for every move that I make? There's a balance. So, if you want this, this is what you put out there. If you
Hmm.
want this
Hmm.
is what you put out there. So there's no punishing. You punish yourself. You want to reward yourself, reward yourself. You want to punish,
Right.
you know, does it really feel good to me, that resonate with me, to be told, because it's written by some man and
Right.
wherever, not to question anything?
Right.
This is the way it is. Don't question. Okay, so this book says don't question anything, and this book over here says this. Don't do that. And hold on, that doesn't set right with me.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. I'm like I said, I'll never tell anybody don't follow, whatever. But really think about what you're following and why.
Right.
And you know, um, we all have God in us. We all are,
Yes.
our God. So
Yeah. And physical bodies.
yes, in physical bodies, and that for a long
The
time was
God is on the
uncomfortable for me
inside.
to say. And a
Hmm.
lot of people, when you do say that to them, it really shakes them up. And that is a start right there, because I had to be shaken up first. Things had to happen. And just know that in life, there are things you call the universe, God, or whatever, that's
Hmm.
going to continue trying to show you
Right.
and
All the
shake you
time. All
and
day,
shake
every
you
day.
up to get you to go, you
Yes.
know, in that direction of your bliss, of your purpose. And if it's up to you, you can continue to suffer and continue to just push it off
Yep.
as, oh, that must be the devil, it must be Satan, it must be the, or you can get out your own way and really just start to just ask some of those questions, and really, start, as you start to, what I have noticed is, as you start to ask those questions and really open yourself up, things will come. You don't have to know everything.
Right.
Steps at a time, people will be revealed to you that will give you, the info, some information that you can say, not saying that everything one certain person says you
Right.
have to believe everything they say, but different people will come with different nuggets of
Different
wisdom,
pieces. Hmm.
different pieces of the puzzle that you
Absolutely.
will gravitate and resonate with. That's all I'm saying. Because just
Yes.
like even all these teachers that we talk about, it doesn't mean that I have to agree with every single thing that they say, but what they have said has given me enough nuggets from them that I do consider them as a teacher or a mentor because they've opened me up to something that, some type of truth that I resonate with. So
Yes.
therefore I can say, okay, Dr. Wayne Dyer, I don't know everything that he said. So if
Right.
everybody tells me word for word every book he's written, I don't.
Right.
But what I have gotten from him, I've resonated with,
Yes.
in the
Yes.
Napoleon Hills and
Yes.
things like that. Stuart Wilde, just different people, Louise Hayes and things like that.
Yes. Abraham
Not
Hicks.
saying, like I said, we don't agree with everything,
Right.
our own mothers say, but it doesn't mean
Exactly.
getting, wisdom, and know that, but somewhere along that line, their purpose or where they're going is where I want to go. So I can feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will put it out there too. Well, this stuff that you're is written this too, but there's a difference though. Where does it resonate with you? Is it
Exactly.
is it leading you? Is it leading you to growth in your life? What I do know is when I was following more a religious path, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't growing. I stayed in one place.
Right.
I stayed
Same
in
here.
one box, and that was it. And as long as I stayed in that obedient box, then the people around me were giving me, the praise and the pats because I'm
Right.
staying right in that box. No, life is about, if you even look at life,
It's about
if you even look
expansion.
at nature, it's about growth. It's about
Yes.
shedding old stuff and growing and just learning
Yes.
more and more. And so that doesn't even go right with nature. Just,
Right.
yeah. So that's all I'm saying.
So true. So true.
Yeah. So, we follow, nature's design, infinite,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
infinite water out there, infinite, grass, trees, sand, infinite
It
food out there, no matter what they try to make you think that it's scarcity. No, it's not.
ain't no scarcity.
There's enough stuff on this earth to sustain life for millions of years. And I know it is.
And
I
up
mean,
here in and up here in the
unfortunately,
Midwest, and I know
yeah,
you can relate to this because you used to live in Ohio.
yeah,
So everything dies in nature and comes back to life because we have
that's
four
right.
seasons:
That's right.
winter, fall, spring, and summer. And so it dies. The leaves on the trees they die in the winter and they come
Right.
back
They come back.
every single spring, every
Yep.
year without fail. Same with our trees, same with the grass, same with everything in nature.
Everything.
And it's like pay attention to that.
Yep. I even did research on my own too, even like, because it's so many, you hear about that in the news. It's too many people on earth and it's not enough this. No, I even started
Those are
reading till I
man's
really got
thoughts.
into things and then saw where there were certain companies purposely dumping out, and destroying food so that it could be more of a shortage so they can capitalize and raise prices. And like, if there was scarcity, they wouldn't be doing stuff like that. They wouldn't be
Right.
doing things like that, destroying healthy food. I mean, they're really doing that, still doing it,
It's
you
amazing
know?
because, they can try all they want, but it's not going to work, whatever it is, because
No,
the crops are going to keep growing. There's an abundance of everything. We
everything.
we have an ecosystem that's here to support us,
Yep.
and everything, all the food supply is going to keep regenerating because
Right.
it's a system. It's
Yep.
it's it's Mother Earth's system, and that's just the way it is, and it will always be more than enough for all of us. No
Always.
matter
And I
what
tell
they
people
try to
this
say
too.
or do, that's, it's just
I
a
tell
lie.
people this too, and this is a whole different subject. But when people say, we're destroying the earth with this pollution, that pollution, yes, I understand that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the earth is never gonna let you destroy it. The earth
No,
will
it'll
purge
destroy
itself. The
everything,
earth
every
will
living
destroy
thing on the
you
planet.
first. The
Yes.
earth will kill you
Yeah,
before you kill
before
it.
herself.
That's right.
She's
So,
more conscious, more awakened, more everything, more wisdom. Earth
yep,
is a living being, living
being,
entity,
you're not gonna
and
destroy
man could not
it.
ever touch the
No.
entity, the spiritual um essence of this earth, what she is. Man can never
Right.
touch that.
Right.
We
That's
can
what I'm
never
saying. That's what I try
outsmart
to say. The earth will
Mother
purge
Earth.
itself. You'll see it in different weather changes and whatnot, but you're not going to kill off this earth. The earth will spit you out before that happens. And you'll be
Absolutely.
you'll be off of it. But it knows how to regenerate, purge,
Yes,
purify itself, but you're not going to kill it.
that's right. That's right.
Yep. Yep, that's right. So that's good, and that's refreshing to hear you say that too as well. But yeah, just things like that. See, I wouldn't have ever known, unless I
Mm-hmm.
got out of my own way to even know things like that.
Right.
I would have just believed, whatever news that was told to me, that, oh, the earth's dying off, oh, there isn't enough food,
Because
oh,
they
the
show you the
air,
worst. They
oh,
fear
yeah,
based, right? So they can
yeah, all
control,
it's a yes, and unfortunately that's just the way it is. The more you have people living in fear, the easier it is to control.
control
And
them.
we have mindsets on this planet that want to keep you like that. And I don't really want to focus on them, but
Right.
they want to keep you like that so that they can um, continue to profit from your fears and
Ignorance. Right.
you're being controlled. And it is what it is.
Right. But you're greater than that. And it's up to you to step into that greatness
It's
for
up to
each
you.
each one of us.
Right, right.
Awesome.
Not
Awesome.
saying that I don't ever um, I'm not gonna say use the word fear. I really don't want to use that, but ever, have a feeling, of
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty at one moment.
Right.
But
We're
I won't.
human.
I
We're
don't
human.
live there. I don't
Right.
stay
You don't
there.
stay there.
No, no.
Right.
I always look for a way that what is this trying to tell me, and and I know this is at the end of this, at the other side of this, is something that's going to even build me up better than where I was before. So I always look at it like that's how I look at life, period. Now,
Right.
whatever I'm going through, whatever I'm uncertain about, is leading me somewhere better.
Absolutely.
Whatever looks like a setback
It's a
at the
comeback. You got to come
particular
back right
moment,
behind it.
yeah, just like
Yes.
night and day, just like
Yes.
the sun gonna eventually come up. It has to. It's not gonna
Yes.
stay dark. You know,
Right.
and life is a balance too. That's what people need to understand. So even when people feel like they're in a dark place, the only way that you're gonna stay in that dark place is if you sit there and dwell in that dark place. But if you let the natural course take its place,
Yes.
you got to come out of that. Life is contrast and balance. You can't just stay in that dark place.
Right.
You can be in a light place. you know
Absolutely.
so whatever you're going
Absolutely.
through, you got to remember there's another side to that. there's
Yeah.
there's a there's a contrast to that, so that means something good coming.
Right. I always like to say one thing about those tables is they do turn.
They always turn. They
They
always
always
turn. They
turn.
don't ever stay like that unless you stay there, unless
Right.
you choose to stay focused in that. Then you can keep yourself in that and make it seem like it's not changing, but there's still things on the outside that's knocking, trying to change it for you, trying to say,
Right.
hey, look, okay, the good come on, it's trying to come in right now, but you won't let it
Right.
because you're focused on, feeling sorry for yourself, or you're focused on you can't do nothing and whatnot.
Right.
You
Right.
focus on what happened. Okay, that happened already. Let it go. Let's go. Let's pick up and move on.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Those are very encouraging words, Lud, and I thank you so much for sharing your journey, sharing your wisdoms, sharing your time. And, like I said before, you are inspiring so many people on this planet. You may not even realize it, but you are. And especially through your music. Like I said, I discovered your music on YouTube, and it's very uplifting. And I actually went to Atlanta a few months ago,
right.
and literally, like, at least halfway there, and it's a 12-hour drive. At least halfway there, I was listening to your music.
Oh wow. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
Oh, you drove out there, huh?
Yeah, I drove out there because I'm
Okay.
not doing the mass thing right now, so I'm not getting on the airplane. So
Airplane. Yeah, I heard
yeah,
that.
yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I just wanted you to know that, what you're doing is definitely making a difference on the planet.
Thank you.
And if someone's wanted to reach out to you, I don't know if you do any coaching or anything, or how would they follow you? Are you on Instagram? Are you on your Facebook? Or
Yes, I do. I have Facebook, and you just look up Luke Bryon Smith. You can message me through that. So basically, even if you just Google Luke, LootBryonsmith, just all kinds of stuff will pop up. So I have my own website, lukebryonsmith.com. And yeah, and that's even
awesome,
my email, my Gmail, lukebryonsmith@gmail.com. So you can
Be-
find me.
beautiful, beautiful. Thanks again for being a guest, Lute, and audience. Thank you so much for tuning in to Awakening with Katina Love. Namaste.
Thank you.